It's just after midnight on July 30th, 1945. A US Navy warship sails steadily from Guam to Leyte, completely unaware that danger lurks beneath the waves. Following closely is A-58, Japanese Imperial Navy submarine, ready to launch two deadly Type 59 torpedoes. Quarter past midnight, the torpedoes are fired, striking US vessel with devastating accuracy. In just 12 minutes, American heavy cruiser slips beneath the waves, taking some 300 sailors down with it. For those who survived the sinking, the nightmare is only beginning. They're now adrift in the open ocean, battling hunger, dehydration, and relentless sharks' attacks. Nearly 900 men managed to evacuate and are now floating amidst toxic waste of water, oil, and fuel. For many, there will be no happy ending at the end of this story. They will soon realize that their fallen brothers who perished with the ship were the lucky ones. Let me tell you the harrowing story of USS Indianapolis. My name is Darek and welcome to the Sands of Time. The sinking of Indianapolis marked the greatest loss of life from a single ship in US Navy history. The sheer number of casualties is horrifying, but the gruesome ways they perished is even more chilling. But let's start from the beginning. The USS Indianapolis was a key player from very start of the war with Japan. She was part of the task force hunting Japanese aircraft carriers after Pearl Harbor. Just days before the disaster, the Indianapolis was given top secret mission of utmost importance, transporting enriched uranium and components for atomic bomb to naval base in Tianjin. This was the same atomic bomb that will later be dropped on Hiroshima, known as a little boy. After completing this mission, the ship arrived at Guam, where part of the crew was rotated. Then it set off for Leyte Island for training ahead of Okinawa campaign. The Indianapolis was about halfway to its destination when it got detected by Japanese submarine A-58. At quarter past midnight, the submarine launched its attack and Indianapolis was struck by two Type 95 torpedoes, causing catastrophic damage. The ship, recently fitted with larger caliber cannons and loaded with armaments, sunk rapidly in just 12 minutes. Of the nearly 1,200 sailors on board, 300 didn't manage to evacuate and went down with the ship. Those who escaped were wounded, many without life jackets, and have only a few lifeboats. The military training paid off as the surviving navies and marines gathered in groups and collected any food and water they could find from the ship debris. They waited for help, but it wasn't help that came in the morning. It was sharks. Hundreds of them. Survivors remember sharks bumping into them, picking off dead and wounded before attacking the survivors. To this day, sinking of USS Indianapolis is considered to be the deadliest shark attack ever. Exact numbers are unknown, but witness statements suggest as many as 150 men were killed by sharks. The rescue party also found bite marks on 56 bodies pulled from the water. But the sharks weren't the only threat. Dehydration, heat during the day, and hypothermia at night claimed many lives. Delirium, hallucination, and psychosis pushed many soldiers to suicide. The salvation arrived after nearly 4 days in the form of Ventura and Catalina planes that were on routine patrol and spotted the stranded men. An additional life raft was dropped and a rescue party was dispatched. The first one on the scene was another Catalina patrol plane whose pilot, Lieutenant Commander Robert Marks, defied direct orders to not land in the open ocean and landed his plane. He managed to pick up 56 men. Due to limited space in his plane, some of them were strapped to the plane's wings with parachute cord. The nightfall saw arrival of first out of 7 rescue ships. In total, 316 sailors was rescued and brought home. USS Indianapolis sunk in just 12 minutes. But do you know that it will take you only 3 seconds to like this video and subscribe to my channel? So why not do it now? It will really help me. Now, let's dive into controversies surrounding tragic loss of USS Indianapolis. First, did the ship send any distress calls? The Navy initially claimed that there were no evidence of any distress calls being received. Given that the ship sank in just 12 minutes, that seems plausible, but it's not true. Declassified records from April 2013 revealed that not 1 but 3 stations received distress signal, yet no one acted on it. Why? Commander of one station was drunk. The commander of second station ordered his men to not disturb him, and the third one believed that the signal is a Japanese trap. Another controversy: why did no one notice the failure of the ship to arrive at its destination? Someone did. Lieutenant Stuart Gibson, the operations officer at the port director. He was responsible for tracking the movements of USS Indianapolis. He knew on 31st of July that the ship did not arrive at Leyte Island, but failed to investigate it or report it to his superiors. There was, however, one officer court-martialed for the loss of USS Indianapolis. Its own commander, Captain Charles McWay III. He faced 2 charges: failing to order his men to abandon the ship and hazarding the ship. He was cleared of the first charge but found guilty of hazarding the ship by failing to zigzag. However, Admiral Chester Nimitz remitted the sentence and reinstalled McWay to the active duty. The trial also revealed that the Navy potentially placed the ship in the harm's way, as they failed to inform McVeigh that there is Japanese submarine operating in the area. McVeigh retired from the Navy in 1949. 19 years later, in 1968, alone, depressed after his wife passing and guilt-ridden, Charles McVeigh III committed suicide. It will take 33 years until 2021, when his name was cleared of all wrongdoing. The story of USS Indianapolis is not just a tale of loss. It's a narrative about survival against the odds, a lesson in costs of war, and a tribute to those who served. As we remember the sacrifices made, let's honor their memory and make sure that such tragedies are never forgotten. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the history, and I will see you in the next episode.